Iran?
The question on Iran is there's been conflicting messages about whether and where and when a sixth round of talks with Iran may take place. Is there clarity on that from the U.S. perspective?
I don't know if you would consider it clarity, but I can say a few things. The president, I think, he noted that something would be happening soon this week. I think that what I can just reiterate here is that we would hope and expect that there would be new additional talks, and that in fact they would be soon. But beyond that, I have nothing to preview. But in similar situations, when we believe that it would be soon, it in fact ended up being soon.
Right. The Iranians have concretely said Sunday in Oman. So if that is not the U.S. understanding, then
I can't comment on that. Again, the president mentioned a different day. I think that there are individuals involved, obviously, who are working on this, and there will be a final determination, and we will hear about it when that determination is made.
Okay. In that context, just very quickly.
One more follow-up, and then we'll go on.
Thank you. Well, just because the president also had mentioned that this week, would be the sort of 2-month deadline for reaching a deal with Iran or not. When is it determined that those talks are a failure and you don't progress to future rounds?
The president makes that determination, and the people involved. As I've mentioned before, if you think about the deadlines, or even as the secretary has said on another situation, that it would be a matter of weeks. The funny thing about negotiations and discussions is that things happen, and that there are conversations, and progress is sometimes made, not tremendous progress, but enough to keep going. So it is not. It is a dynamic as it would be with any diplomatic consideration, that negotiations are meant to move things forward. And the good news is that, in fact, it would appear that things are moving forward, and that's what we all want. All right. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tom. Moving to Ukraine, if I may.
All right. Now, let's one more. Now we're thinking of Lebanon and the other elements of the Middle East. Did you have something, sir? Yes, you.
Iran follow, actually.
All right. Iran follow-up. All right.
So President Trump also said something about Iran that was quite interesting yesterday during the roundtable. He said that Iran has been helping with the ceasefire negotiations in Gaza. Are you able to shed any light on that?
No, I can't. Refer you to the White House in that regard. All right. Lebanon, yes, sir, right there.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
Ukraine has been under massive drone attacks, particularly Kiev last night. Given that, Ukrainian president said publicly that they have been asking for permission from the U.S. To purchase air defense systems that they can mitigate Russian attacks. Why wouldn't the U.S. let them purchase air defenses, much needed air defense systems?
Well, I can't speak to the details of purchase decisions or negotiations about what we're going to allow to be purchased by an ally. That is the Department of Defense, effectively. What I do know is what the President has said and what the Secretary of State has said in a number of venues is that we certainly, and we've been Ukraine's biggest supporter and defender, literally, is that we want them to have surface-to-air missile protections, right? We want them to be able to deal with incoming missiles. We know that it's been discussed about our European partners who have those systems from us to get them to Ukraine. There's a number of different negotiations and aspects involved in this kind of dynamic that does not involve the State Department. It's about munitions and purchasing and all of that. What I do know is that we are doing and continue to wish to do as much as we can. That is not disputed. And I understand the Ukrainians, who are great friends of this country and have done, there's no disputing the bravery and the commitment of the Ukrainian people. If that was ever in doubt or questionable, this war and how they've defended their nation has dispelled any of that. I had the pleasure of being in a bilat with a Ukrainian delegation recently here, and they are astounding people, and they're remarkable, and they are committed to getting their country safe and this war to end. And so are we. The United States has proven that. The details of which are many, and I can't speak to that, and I certainly would dispute that we are not letting Ukraine do something. The opposite has always been the case. Our goal is to make sure that this war comes to an end, and we continue to focus on that.
And on that line, I would appreciate if you help us clarify, reports that the United States has redirected some of the promised defensive weapons from Ukraine. Well, supposed to go to Ukraine, but they redirected to the Middle East. Is that accurate?
I can't speak to that. That is not something that, whether it is or is not happening, it's a decision that is clearly one based in national security if it's happening, and certainly a diplomatic framework that, if a decision has been made, is not something I'm going to remark on here at the podium. We do have some announcements here. First of all, over the last few days, Americans have witnessed scenes of lawlessness as radicals in Los Angeles riot to protect criminal illegal aliens. Agitators have attacked law enforcement and shut down freeways. We remain undeterred in our commitment to enforce our laws and secure the border. During recent days, the administration has taken illegal alien gang members, child predators, rapists, and burglars off the streets. Thanks to the historic action across all of government under President Trump, the border is more secure than it ever has been, with illegal border crossings at a historic low. The border crisis that unfolded under the previous administration, however, did untold damage. The Big Beautiful Bill, as an example, before Congress will build on President Trump's progress, ensuring we have the resources to enforce our laws and secure our border. To that end, the United States is committed to disrupting the illicit manufacture and trafficking of fentanyl, a leading cause of death of people aged 18 to 49 in the United States. Yesterday, the United States announced that it is sanctioning La Chapitos, a powerful faction of the Mexico-based Sinaloa cartel, along with its two fugitive leaders. The United States is also designating a regional network of Los Chapitos associates and businesses based in Mazatlan, Mexico. This network engages in drug trafficking, extortion, kidnapping, and money laundering. Under Secretary Marco Rubio, the State Department will continue to protect our nation by keeping illicit drugs off our streets and disrupting the revenue streams funding Mexico-based cartels' violent and criminal activity. In addition, Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau will travel to Mexico, El Salvador, and Guatemala from June 10th to the 13th. As detailed in the trip announcement, quote, in each country, Deputy Secretary Landau will participate in a high-level bilateral engagements to further strengthen diplomatic ties and cooperation. He will engage in discussions to drive the private sector led economic growth, boost U.S. commercial investments in our region, and highlight the importance of ending illegal immigration. In addition, there are additional announcements today, of course. The United States sanctioned 5 individuals and 5 sham charities for financially supporting Hamas under the guise of humanitarian work. Additionally, we are targeting a fraudulent charity linked to the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, the PFLP. The United States will use all available tools to prevent abuse of the nonprofit sector for the benefit of terrorist groups like Hamas and the PFLP. We are committed to ensuring humanitarian aid can in fact be delivered by reliable and safe organizations. Finally, cultural diplomacy remains an important endeavor of the Trump administration. The Kennedy Center exemplifies this commitment, and its gala is tomorrow night, led by the musical Les Miserables. The center will have a season that will have Broadway, ballet, opera, and even Dolly Parton, in addition to a lot of other great things for kids as well.